Alright, son.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join we 8 a.m. salon time from Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join we 8 a.m. salon time from Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join we 8 a.m. salon time from Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join we 8 a.m. salon time from Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them wey dey can help for talk about the newspaper. We are the channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
All right, good morning to another beautiful edition of a program called Yes. Ooh, another beautiful morning, right? Okay, so this is not the midweek edition of a program called Yes. We want to apologize for yesterday because we actually not be able to come with this Yes. Yes, after we give a binge the following day, we sleep. We tired because it be really heavy. I don't know today waiting exactly there inside the coolers because we go wait for the guests can open up for we because in the one already for tell we who's kind plasas or who's kind soup. Let me see how best we came for enjoy again this morning. But before we go to we guest for this morning, we get a lot of things them. We don't come up now the front page of the different newspaper them. Okay, la just hide them because it want show now. La hide me guess quick because it's still they make the colors. Let you know can inspire. Alright, so we guess they ready the colors. Whilst we look at the different ways and means of how you don't put the different way they can say equipment. Yeah. Inside this particular colors, let's see how best we can enjoy them. Find one inside the program this morning. Well, we will begin look first at the front pages them of the different newspaper them where actually don't come up. Different newspaper them where actually don't come up this morning. It go nice for let me see waiting then say yes waiting and don't talk this morning. So let's start with the first one. I just start with the first one. Well, we will start with the first one where now the watch newspaper. Just bear with me very well, correct? Okay, just get me. Okay, so I'll go the first pick for this morning where now the watch newspaper. The watch newspaper gets a very big banner headline where say 3 convicted for possession of kush. And then you get MBSS launches digital learning hub. And then you get SLNSC MD cries foul. And you get stop press over alleged mischief of evaluation report. Badia in trouble. This and other story then there for you inside the watch newspaper. And then we go to the next one for this morning. When the exclusive newspaper say 24th January deadline. APC may not contest 2023 elections. Yeah, Peter Conte walks off Pprc meeting. This now the big banner headline. You get other story them inside the exclusive, and then you get another paper where the Premier News where say Amnesty concerned about allegations of police brutality. And then you get another one where say AFDB mission satisfied with worship project. And then you get Amnesty logo, you get a team Lauren receive $15,000 after Global Youth Innovation Challenge. Also in this issue you get different other things than they and philanthropists to construct third mosque in Braimaya. This is another story there for you inside the Premier newspaper. And then you get in Unity newspaper where say on hunger and poverty President Bio to wage another war. And then you get Civil Rights Coalition and the MBSSE popularized President Bio, free quality school education vision, and President Bio deserves a second term. Massive welcome for First Lady in UAE. This is another story then for you inside in Unity newspaper. You get a Politico where say Bio calls for improved human capital, job creation, startup loans, entrepreneurship. And then you get another one where say no tangays this year. You get CSO calls for women's consent on extractives, and then 3 jailed for kush. This another one day for you inside the Political newspaper. Satellite newspaper get as APC stalwart blast Pprc chairman. And then you get President Bio launches National Youth Employment and Entrepreneurship Fair. And then First Lady calls for maximum support for women with infertility issues and the need to avoid stigmatization. This is another one day for you inside the satellite. And then you get the other paper winner, the AZ newspaper. The Game Changer say, New Citizen projects to provide 1,000 jobs for, New City projects to provide 1,000 jobs for citizens. And then you get APC in disarray. Alfred Peter Conte trashes ITGC 24 hours ultimatum, and ahead of 2023 election, Pprc chairman wants APC 21-man committee. They get another one, say 3-year-old Sam C. Kamara missing, police investigates. And Jalai University will conclude 2 days orientation for over 8,000 undergraduate freshmen. This is another story for inside the AZ. And then you get the Global Times newspaper where it says CSOs want 8% threshold to win MP seats. And you get President Bio opens National Youth Employment and Entrepreneurship Fair. And then you get tribute to Rico, an exemplary brother and reliable friend. This another story there for inside the Global Times newspaper. And the next pick gets to do with the Awoko newspaper where it says petrol scarcity causes hike in transportation and commodity prices in Makeni. And then you get another one where say we will close our market in Sierra Leone to refocus on other markets. CEO Standard Chartered Bank. You get President Bio urge the youth to be job providers. And then we are not given what we wanted in the gender empowerment, act. But Honorable Catherine Zainab Bangura. All right, this is another story there for you inside the Awoko newspaper for this morning. And then you get another pick when at the Standard Times newspaper where say Finance Minister reveals sad economic policies. Government in shame. All right, this another story there for you inside the Standard Times newspaper. Let's just see something quick before I do you the other projects. The other paper. All right. Okay. All right. The last paper for this morning. Now the Independent Observer newspaper. We get a banner headline say we are now okay. We say on World Orphan Day, LEONE Rock and China medical team donate medical items to orphanage home. You get 349.5 million new Leones for 2023 election. And APC MP goes against APC MP. This and plenty other story there for you inside the Independent Observer newspaper. Well, now that story there so we actually they come Rob Mortpan inside the program this morning. So I go one for we use this opportunity now for welcome your guest where we get inside the program this morning. And the guest for the program this morning a very, very big personality. Now a senior colleague and then a civil rights activist. We don't work tranga one. A fearless journalist. Journalist where they say fearless journalist. That one way they watch faces. You not care what you do. You not care how you choose for use any kind of thing. What in not they do and not the cost person. But when are the issue? The amaram go how it's supposed for be. So you don't get any reason for come at time. For tell and say, hey, enough for talk. You don't get right for do that one day. But for tell and say, you cost me like a crime. So a very much professional way they do it work. Hard on the issues that hard, very, very hard. Not get reservation. How it come, that's what it put up. Well, now as well, now a civil rights activist, now posting this, apart from being a journalist where they use the pen, where they use the mic, he as well don't they use the same pen, the same mic, and then they go down the field for make sure say the people they not only talk for them, but as well he make sure say he monitor for that thing where they call the rights, the people benefit from them. That thing where they say the government for provide for people, the people get the right for get them, and he make sure say he go another area there, so he advocate on different things them for the people of the country. Well, this time around, he don't add another big feather on top of in cap as in the national coordinator for one organization where they call Community Media Network Sierra Leone, and a registered non-governmental organization where same way so get 50 radio stations that way it work with. In other words, now a network where it work with different radio stations them across the country for make them go able for see how best they could put things them in place for the country in better one. Remember, like when we say now, we talk about but not to talk no more. We concerned about the welfare of the people. So we have to make sure say Who side people and they cry, we help them. Who side people forget rights, then get the rights. Who side this person need that kind of assistance, we able for go in and out to the family members them for provide medical, provide school fee, provide other things there. Well, in a different way out in the look at in your things them, but very robust, very effective. And this person, my senior colleague, like I say, I'm not able to forget the month for introduce a Boku Boku one. So if I reach at this place, or this point, I could just say, will we welcome Sir Theophilus Sir Bender, where now the fearless journalist where I don't ever sabi inside the country. Welcome to Cool Rest this morning.
All right. Thank you so much. I don't already get a taste of the Cool Rest, and I'm very, very happy to be part of it. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm happy to be here.
We're very much happy for get you. You know, this time
around,
I think
I have been following up. I have been following up.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
All right, so who's Cool Rest you like? Who's source you like for it Cool Rest na morning?
My best source na Punky.
Wow.
Punky, you say Punky?
Yes. Oh my God. You make her just go far because it's why it's Punky. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah.
You know, once I don't get this kind of feeling, I expect to get the best of the Cool Rest this morning. And I go
surely.
Eat them and crepe all the crow. I wish that
yes.
You know can hear me for like that because I don't say
something. You're right.
All right, one more time, welcome to this platform.
Thank you very much.
Right, so let's talk to my family members then quick, where YouTube can call subscribers and then Facebook can call followers. Well, for now, we don't reach 60,631 on YouTube, and then on Facebook, we don't add another one. So now we get 31,000 on Facebook. We're actually now a follower on Facebook and then family member on YouTube. So let's look at this thing. We got a challenge for each 100,000 family members where YouTube can call subscribers for mid-top December this year. So we get a lot of things where we do. If you don't subscribe, you get one responsibility now. Be we ambassador, share the link and tell person why you like this platform. We not go tell you waiting for tell them, but you tell person why you like this platform. Waiting at the benefit you get. Okay, we get 3 birthday on December. We want to use this for celebrate. The channel in birthday, December. Me birthday, December. And then we get Bible in Yod, where in December. Well, of course. So this is a very grand celebration where we want let you give we a very big package. So let we see how much we will get for Transform this morning. We get 60,631. Let's just note them. 60,631. We want to see how many we get this morning by the time we done for it the Cool Rest. So we go to the issue then. All right, the first one don't come. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. This time your family out. Welcome. So don't get now 60,632. Welcome to this platform. We appreciate you so much. And you, when not subscribed yet, please consider for do that day. And don't forget for like and share the program. So we go with the first pick of the program this morning. But before that, I forget to ask. You be to talk. Introduce you as the national coordinator for the community media networks Sierra Leone, where an NGO of 50 radio station them, where now like a network. Tell me more about this organization, this non-government organization.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the organization we found them in 2019, and now be a joint corporation of Culture Radio and Bread for the World expatriates were assigned to Culture Radio in name Sebastian Lassinger. And so the gurus of Covenants now, Father Elijah, were the proprietor of Culture Radio, and Sebastian were the secondary personnel. So we started up as a small network without any funding, but then we tried to attract funding from the German Federation, for economic development, what they call BMZ, okay, yeah, and through World Hunger Hilfe, WHH, and we currently implement a project titled Promotion of the Rights to Food in Sierra Leone, because we country alone happen for be rated as one of the hungriest nations in the world. with all which we get, we get gold, we get everything. But because of years of poor governance, the majority, the vast majority of the population remain in a very hunger-stricken situation. You remember during Pakaba in Tem, he said before he left office, he could make sure say no Sierra Leonean no go to bed hungry, but he left us hungrier, and then came Ernest Bai Koroma, instead of make a similar commitment, but then we still remain in a very bad hunger state. Then we get President Bio now. Instead they do the utmost, but in fact the hunger level do increase, because last year, according to World Food Program, the assessment, about 57% of the populace be deemed for be in a hunger situation. The hunger situation here is that the normal human being supposed to get access to 3 daily meals, and that daily meals and they therefore be of high quality. But if I not say because of the poverty situation of the country, most households they can only afford 1 meal, sometimes either morning time or sometime or in the night. 1 meal, and even that meal day it lack most of the nutrients what you need for keep the body strong. So we advocate for draw the attention of the government to the reality that the country is badly rated, and that food is life, and the right to food all the promotes a fundamental human right where people get access to. So the states get responsibility, and what do they advocate for? Not to let the government put food on the table of people practically, but then for the government create the enabling environment so that we go able to produce more. There will be access to the markets, and people will be able to afford it. The local food will produce. For instance, rice, one of the staple food. The rest will be produced locally is far more expensive than the rest will be import from China, Malaysia, and then other countries. So we feel so this is a very serious challenge where, for instance, the rest will be produced here. Many people don't go in for them because one is expensive, and secondly the processing. Because if you want it to go to rest now, you have to make sure say you gravel them properly and make sure say you eliminate all the stones. And many people are not get that time they want to take the rest, wash them up, put inside pots. After a few minutes, if the rice is ready and they are ready to eat. And then waiting back with the try to promote the food diversification. Because the average Sierra Leonean, if you eat everything that is everything available to them for the day, if you not eat less, then you not eat it. So one for change that kind of perception, they say it does not have to be rice. You can go to cassava, make fine stew for them. You can go with sweet potato and some other things them. But many people they rely on this rice, and now because farming is no longer lucrative, many people they don't shy away from farming, and so even the traditional farming communities there where we know today. If you go there now, the rest where you go see all man they eat there now imported rice. And we rest what they produce locally in terms of quality, is far more nutritious, than the rest of the imports from outside. They cannot take months or years that they see on a store before they come to we. So we feel also for give preference to we own local production. And the governments, year in and year out, they say they spend in excess of over $200 million on tax waivers just for import rest at the country. Okay. So you can imagine $200 million going to local farmers, most of whom are still subsistence farming. In the Western world, farmers are amongst the richest people. But in Sierra Leone, for instance, farmers are amongst the poorest of the poor.
Okay, so if we reach to that point,
even at the villages, most of the youths them.
If we reach to that point,
yeah?
I will go to the first speak where get similar thing of like what Una Save the advocates for, where I will just read this one, and interestingly come from the Unity newspaper. where the mouthpiece of the SLPP, where the government of the day. So let's look at this. He say, on hunger and poverty, President Bio to wage another war. Let's look at this. We they talk about, hunger. We they talk about different projects and where they under this hunger business. Like for example, the Toma bomb. And you get other one them. We done the seaside caretaker bio. Interestingly, so we can call them now.
Sure.
Because we want for let them know say then they take care of the position for we, not to then get them. So that is why we also call them. Caretaker Bio always done talk about how he want for make sure say we stop for import things them and we want for see. But in 2021 we still said the Deputy Minister of Agriculture say we could only get enough race by 2023. Let's go to this banner headline on hunger and poverty. President Bio to wage another war. Tell me about this. What do you make up of this headline?
Okay, so in the first place, 100% endorse the name Caretaker Bio. He's officially the caretaker, but most time here in Sierra Leone, now we they end up for take care of leaders them instead of them taking care of us. You see, because then they grow richer and we they grow poorer. So it's the opposite, right? Okay. But anyway, on the issue of waging war on hunger and poverty, when President Bio take up power, he said they wage war against indiscipline, they wage war against corruption, and they make sure say Salone become the country where it will be. And during the campaign, all the problems were highlighted, and according to President Bio and in team, all they need is to get the power, and within months, the situation will change for everybody. But of course, it's always a different thing when you're outside than when you come inside. Because when you come inside, you see all the realities shining at you and you having to solve them. So it's going to be a very good one if they are serious about it. Because over the years, although you get lots of pronouncements by political leaders, but then at the end of the day, they can easily get swayed, away to something else. So all it takes is sincerity of purpose. With sincerity of purpose, this is possible. And for handle hunger in our country, it's so easy because we produce so much, but most of the time, access to the market now one problem. The secondly, capital for the farmers them, for able to produce more and more. Now it can be the problem. And some of the time, access to land. Because now we find out say most of the land they go to foreign investors them, where they come develop thousands of hectares of land for industrial agriculture. Industrial agriculture is good, but it should be guided towards local production, making sure that there's enough to produce, there's enough to send to the market, and there's enough to even export. But here we find out say the issue of production remain a very serious one because we look at farmers them not get access to loan, they not get access to tools, wherefore make them go into mechanized farming. And even last year or so, most of the farmers there, like Kabbalah, Makeni, Moyamba, other parts of them, they rest them well because they don't get combined harvesters for harvest the rice, right? Then you talk about seeds. Salone rely on importing seeds from Ghana, other countries them. That the seed for plant. So most of the time by the time the seed they reach, the time don't late for plant, or sometimes the seed not good for the texture of the soil. But good news for this year, we get a new agency what they call Sierra Leone Seed Certification Agency, SLESCA, where Robert Tambachakanda, the head doctor. According to them, for the year 2022, Salone not import any seed from any country, which means all the seed where the farmers then plant, with, now yeah, they generate them locally. And Salombi, they do that before. You know, we got seed multiplication projects were followed up as a result of the war, and they're not still able for come to the kind of effectiveness what they expect them for come in. And so it remains challenging. But then if the government is serious, even like with this Tomabum project, the Tomabum project is a very laudable project, but I can tell you that they are facing some financial difficulties wherefore make they realize their full potential. And this is a government-led initiative. One thing we're clear is the fact that most of the time, governments, they establish ministries, agencies, and departments, but in order to give them the kind of support what they need for able to run efficiently. So that's the challenge.
Okay. So
it is possible that this work can be won, but then sincerity of purpose is important.
So because of that word the way you talk, so how sincere, you know, for let the able for win this war, is very, very important. Let's look at this paper where instead get similar thing. The political newspaper say BO calls for improved human capital, and it just linked to it you just been told just now. Job creation, startup loans, and entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship now where people and they create job for themselves, you know, employ other people, then startup loans, you forget access, forget, you know, loan from bank and other places then without that kind of big, you know, loan interest, and you get this job creation where all of this very important. But from what we understand here, now we get now the sub-region, one of the highest loan interest with 2 digits. Whereas other side them then get 1 digit, some then they even below the belt, you know. But how the sincerity about this whole thing now? You think that the government really ready for put your interest on their area there, so especially for money to the financial institution them on loan, because loan very important for business.
Yes, definitely. And this issue of loan, that we will for treat with very much seriousness, because you know, government in, government out, we don't see that they go in for so much loans. And even now, the loan margin, according to what you would it don't go far beyond what you would expect them for be. And the issue of loan, where they take from them financial institutions, now a way for administrate we financial poverty, and for make we remain at the same side we always, right? Because if we talk about it, I not get the figures up head. I don't say this will come up, but every month or so, governments they say that they pay certain amounts to them financial institutions there as loan, and a big money. And one thing is that if you don't pay those loans, then you get challenged. And most of the government projects they will see that they undertake, the construction of bridges, the undertaking of other major projects, them, if I say they are donor funded. And this donor funds, where we talk about, so for do that kind of development work, and they not a grant to a loan, which means the country get for pay them back. But most time, when these projects are undertaken, for example, the construction of that bridge, who takes the praise? The government of the day takes the praise. When they do road, when I donor funds, who takes the praise? The donors. Sorry, the government take the praise. So most time they can politicize their loans there and then development work there to an extent that they give the people the impression say it's the government at work. So yes, we see under the past regime, most projects were therefore undertake, like a Berry Bridge. We understand that they be sending money, but the bridge was not constructed, or it was not finished. So now only when the BO government can now, we say that bridge has been completed and commissioned. Now you go there, it's a very good sight to behold. And there was one other bridge again, where they lead towards Namoyamba district today. yes, after Songo, you go, Magbele, I don't know how to call it, I don't forget really, where this government also constructs. So you see, yes, when they talk about development, government, for example, APC not for wait for this other government they can't take over from them, do them. So there should be progressive governance, and it should show. So like when they talk about capital development, I mean, you know, or human development is crucial because we're getting very, very low now the human development index. We're getting, I'm doing a search right now on Google, we're getting very, very low, and that it is the responsibility of government for ensure say they improve on the human and capital development. Otherwise, they go always they get salon.
So as recent as getting down the way you talk about so.
Say that again.
As recent as us here, where you talk about this rating.
Oh no, as recent as this year, even 2021 rating very, very poor. Let me just go to it again. A very, very poor, a very poor. We human development rating very poor. You see, it's not good. It has been so for years. We should not continue in that way. Otherwise, the country is not progressing.
So if we reach to that point, the question we are going to ask, one of the main areas the way this government focus on are human, capital development. So if the rating low, how you would say the government really they put things them in place for improve that?
Well,
or what yes, this could mean for the government?
Yes. Well, the fact of the matter is that it is not a funny thing to achieve. It's a very, very difficult thing to achieve. But all it takes now, like I said earlier, sincerity of purpose, very crucial.
Okay. So
right? Because with it, yeah.
The question I will ask you again, we will still lay on this entrepreneur and this job creation and all. And you will talk about loan, we're very important, If the government gets a challenge, they go through a lot of constraints for pay loans. And how this go mean for the private individual, we actually want to create a job for people, we actually want for doing business for let the country go, economy go before, if it's challenging for the government?
Well, yes, it's challenging for the government, it's challenging for private businesses as well, right? Because one, because of the high level of poverty in the country, you find out say most businesses they thrive, and even for them give jobs them out to people it's challenging because they are not. Then it depends on the type of business really. Some of the business today where they flourish, whilst others are crumbling. If you go around now, you will see beaucoup restaurants they don't close, beaucoup boutiques they don't close, or plenty of people they don't change their business. Even when you go into food, the factory restaurant that they close, must also say the people that get the ability for access to their restaurant today, they're very, very minimal. The only side where you will see restaurants that they flourish at the beach area, outside tourists that they go, foreign nationals that they come. But for the locals then they are limited in the areas they also go able to go access good food or whatever. So they have to rely on where they can go. So, but for the government got beaucoup areas for spend money, right? They have to pay salaries, they have to undertake certain level of community development, they have to, so many other areas then where government can do, and they rely mainly on local taxes and proceeds from the minerals. And even the minerals then, we got so much gap there to an extent that we are not seeing the kind of benefits we're supposed to come from the mining fields, right? We still say it's a rip-off. The communists are taking much of it away, and the level of monitoring of the operations of the mining companies then very, 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 very poor. So if I not say it's a rip-off situation. So right. If government able for manage a resources very, very well, then we will see a different situation. Because, for example, when the current government come, they establish a single treasury. single treasury, we say all government money to go. So, but then the level of expenditure on the government appointees, then very, very high. We don't increase the wage bill. We don't, so many things that they affect local economic growth. Even recently, when they introduced the new loans, we found out say the dollar price, the dollar exchange rates don't go up to an extent that it is almost reaching 2 million.
Okay,
and
but the
also
introduction of the new loans, the bank governor make them very clear say it's not going to change anything, rather not just the size of the money.
Well, so I'm saying, what was their sense? So that make I'm not surprised because the old loans supposed for them go out of circulation since August. But now they don't say, okay, it will still be in circulation until April and the because the country is not ready for.
So this is not the number 3 deadline where they don't give so for stop the circulation of the old loans.
Say again?
Now the number 3 deadline this way they give for the circulation, for stop the circulation of the old loans.
Oh wait. So you can imagine say it's a situation even them we're not ready for. But the only thing, people are glorifying the 20 loans notes. The 20 loans note is being glorified. I mean, many people they don't praise that money. They say, oh, this is a very good one. I mean, So, but what they say number is that they could have introduced those loans without even thinking about putting aside the old loans, actually. Because the old loans are still here. We still get lots of old loans that were there in good condition. But we don't know exactly which side the bulk of the old loans don't go because we are sure, many things that happen with currencies where we never understand.
Okay, so this make I go to the next thing. We still lay under this production issue because it's very key because one of the things where this government campaign on bread and butter, and I can remember vividly. I like to talk this and bring this as a reference point. The people don't tire of the suffering for pay for bag of rice from only 60,000 to 200,000. The people who don't tire for get this kind of economic struggle, so they want to change. So now we talk about the rest, where all of this gets to do with the local production. The rest they clock now 600,000 to 700,000 according to waiting people the way they buy the best dress they tell you. So now the our local newspaper gets something where say in front page to USA and petrol scarcity causes hike in transportation and commodity prices in Makeni. So if the scarcity of petrol don't begin come back into being, and we don't hear a rumor of the price for change again to another figure, we're not official yet. We see fake information, but not official yet to 25 millions. What in this go get for mean again? Now we talk about poverty line. You talk about the recent survey whereas World Food Program they tell we say the percentage of people where actually they suffer from hunger now 57% where now more than half of the population that one day. And the one day where they get meal per day now it plenty 1 meal per day. It plenty. Some even the for let you see and for no more they get one word and they say for thy stomach sake. It just the eat some for let it continue for live, not to for let it actually get all of the food balanced diet the way it need for get. If this reach to this point, waiting it will get for mean for the country as a whole.
Okay, thank you. So the 57% now the figure will come for last year. Now the figure don't go up to 80%.
Wait, hold on. 57% of the people in the country now they really live below poverty line, right?
Well, no, this time about the hunger situation.
Hunger, where they really suffer from hunger and they get 1 meal per day.
Yes. Well, exactly.
And now it don't go up to 80%.
So 80%.
As of who's year?
As of 2022.
And who that report this?
Now World Food Program, Food and Agricultural Organization, World Food Program.
Okay. Continue. Tell me
more.
If
you're gonna Google, you will see on the.
Okay.
So now 80% of the population deemed to be, hunger or due to be affected by endemic hunger.
So now we talk about TL again. We're self-care responsible for them things they do.
Well, it will just make the situation far worse. It will make the situation far worse because now, even this morning, we pass by fuel, we maybe forget. diesel day, but petrol, not the problem. And most of the vehicles that really in petrol they use. And if price affects petrol, it will affect diesel. So when they say they want to increase the price, but like you say, it's not official yet. But if that happens, obviously transportation costs will go up, and then food costs will go up, obviously. So, and then the poverty situation remain the same, salaries of workers remain the same, and then rents they go up, medication they go up, other things. So it's a difficult situation for the citizens actually. And we listened to one audio recently where they asked the president about the economic situation of the country. Who said the president said, well, with prices of things going up, I cannot protect the citizens.
Oh my God.
So you see, so it's a very volatile situation for the people. Very volatile for all of us. If we were the work, if we were employed, I mean, we are finding it difficult to make do with what we earn for throughout the month. So what about the man and now doing the work? So it's a difficult crisis situation, really. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people are affected.
This is serious. Let's look at this other thing. We're responsible for the day-to-day running of the state. We get to do with the budgets. You know, the Standard Times newspaper gets a banner headline where we've been already read. It say, Finance Minister reveals sad economic policies. Government in shame. So we see a lot of things they inside this budget. They get to spend a lot of money, but bulk of this budget depend on donor funding.
Yes, exactly.
So
you're right.
If they say this budget, now the sad part of the economic policies it get for really affect we. It means say the economic policy, the things that they put in place, not really that strong for able for care we go and move the economy how it's supposed to be. This is the 2023 budget.
Sure. So not the first time this they say they put sound economic policies in place. It's not the first time. They've been saying it for long now. Yes, even before this government they come in, the previous government they say the same thing, and now this government they say the same thing. So it's not about saying it. Let us see it in practice. Let's see it in practice. I mean, don't just give us empty vibes. I mean, so like now you talk about the budgets. Every year we present budgets to Parliament, and every year we hear also about supplementary budgets. Sometimes where they will not do this budget, sometimes they say 3 trillion. Sometimes after 6 months, they come and they say 1 supplementary budget. So what is happening with the money?
So this supplementary budget means say then they add to the already money where they don't ask. But like you be not begin talk say they can create ministries, departments, and agencies, but at the end of the day, they know they get the support where they need. We see inside all of them budget there, they don't really say this money now we allocate, now we give to them different MDs there. But and then they give by trend, first quarter, second quarter, fourth quarter, and fourth. But we can find out say plenty ministry the government will say, even with first quarter money, we not get at 8. And then they can get the third quarter. So who side the money they go, where the government not even spend the money, but then they come back and ask for more supplementary budget for add to that money. What do you think as a journalist?
So that is the $1 trillion question. $1 trillion question, right? You remember when Barack Obama came to Ghana, he said Africa don't need strong men. Africa needs strong institutions. We get very important national or state institutions in this country, they cannot function properly because they don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the support. The salaries that they earn, but then the guys are idle. They have nothing to do. No funds for
what do you mean the salary they earn, but they're idle?
They are idle if they're not able to operate, if they're not given the full resources what they need to operate, then an idle office. An idle office. I'll give you an example. And the unfortunate side of it is that most of these structures are occupied by governments, by pro-SLPP officials. And so they don't grumble about anything. They don't appear. Because one, they protect their job. Secondly, they feel to say if they raise an eyebrow, then they're going to embarrass the government. But as a matter of fact, most of the state entities, them, like what you say, me, I know of entities, them, where from where the year starts, something as September 9, they get allocation, or something as June or July, they get allocation. So most of the entities, they cannot operate efficiently. I will call names. For example, the Human Rights Commission of Sierra Leone is seriously constrained, right? The Ombudsman Office, seriously constrained, right? The commission where they set up for civic education is seriously constrained. National Commission for Democracy and whatever they call them, they're all seriously constrained. And if this entity, even the Sierra Leone police, they have their own constraints. Even the military, they get a constraint them. So, and most of them, they approve them, budget them, but then they even get half of them. So it's a very serious situation.
So this is the thing where they really torment me as a journalist. It torments me seriously. Then they say we give this money. Then they approve and say the money now in this way we they give. But at the end of the day, some MDs they know they get out of the 4 trenches they get forget. Now one and they get. The 3 who side they go, we not ever able for no.
So where is the money going? Where is the money going? That's the other question.
I think I laugh, but it's not funny. It's not funny. It's just too painful for the country. You know, we ask for billions. Look now, we don't ask for almost billion where we don't ask for. All of that in the parliament, they look at them, they approve them. In the feeling say, then they give them people where the money. But unfortunately, they not get the money. So, but we not ever hear that at the end. Apart from the fact that the MDs there, so not they able to get the actual money where they want. But even the 1 or 2, quarter where they give them for the year, they still the mismanaging funding there. What really they happen? Because we see even the Auditor General in own case, Lidoya and that will not get answer.
Well, so it's a shameful situation because every year these MDs they go do what they call budget presentation. They organize a whole session where sometimes they take them 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, where all the MDs that they go to present their budget. The Minister of Finance look at them and say, okay, this is too much, we are going to give you this. So I can tell you, one important development that take place is that the House of Parliament, they don't put out a strong statement, said they are not going to go through that budget process for say that they go present their budget to the Ministry of Finance. At the end of the day, they just get spoiled. So Parliament say, from henceforth, they are going to present their budget only to the President, but not to the Ministry of Finance. Because according to the House of Parliament, they're not affected. They say when they present the budgets, they got for past the beginning run after the Ministry of Finance for give the money. So that they make Parliament they run efficiently. So now they say they are not going to go through that process for go that you building or wherever on budget sharing, right? For go present budgets, you present budgets, you get only half or less than even half. So they say we are not going to be part of that process. And most of the MDs they are just going there because if you don't go and present your budget, you are almost likely not to have anything to run with for the rest of the year.
So the question I will ask
it's not a good situation.
This is a similar challenge where the last government be the face. Where they reach to the point where they say they will begin cut down on certain things then. Where they see disguised one or indirect, this government said they cut down on several things then. But the last government being pronounced what they call austerity measures. But this government not pronounce anything like that there, but they still they get similar things like what they happen in the last government. So you feel say because of political reason, this government not get mind for talk say we don't face this same kind of situation where the last government be faced?
Okay, so for all I know is that the current government inherits
austerity.
A country where they in austerity, right? And so, as far as me concerned, the country remain in austerity, and in fact, the situation has worsened. You see, eh? So that is it. As far as me know, austerity can be managed. But for instance, under the past regime, the country they in austerity, but for political reasons, they go create 2 new districts in the north. You know, you get Karine, Calabar, unnecessarily. What do we need them in an austerity? They're not only that, they increase the number of members of parliament in austerity. Then when this government come, before doing the campaigning, this government will talk about over-bloated wage bill. Where they say that irresponsible, that contributing factor to the austerity situation. But what you see when this government come, I mean, you know, they don't widen they don't widen the wage bill. And when President Bio take over, he said he gonna make sure say he close the loopholes. But as far as we're concerned, these loopholes have graduated into big drainages to an extent that the loopholes have been forgotten about. Now we're concentrating on the drainages. And look what happened. 2019 and 2020 audit reports, we still not say it's not the public view. Why is that so? Why is it being blocked? And yet I see by the MCC recently, they said the government gets 100% in controlling corruption. For me, it's a very serious situation. The government has to be open up. The government has to be transparent. Why do we have the audit service? In fact, imagine the auditor general, they put her on the silencer, and deputy, 10 hours they are still there, will not see yet any progress in the investigation. So where were they removed? These are people doing their job. Why do you have to target them? And then now you suppress the audit report for 2 consecutive years, 2019 and 2020. Whenever you get about 2021, and according to what they say the audit report that they say they're fearful. The money they will go astray. Enough funny. So is it the reason why they are blocking it in parliament? No, bring it out, bring out the report. Let us see what is in it, and let the government put corrective measures in place for ensure say the limited funds what we get, we utilize them in the best of ways.
Okay, so if that be the case, we don't talk about the economy, how for develop the agricultural sector, the budget and all things. Let's talk about politics a bit. I still there inside the Unity newspaper. We get this other banner headline say President Bio deserves a second term. As a journalist, we don't watch out the things there in the country. I think you more of it with things them. You more ground. You didn't at the ground. You don't see things them more than how me don't see them with millions. Tell me about this.
Okay.
President Bio deserves a second term from the Unity newspaper.
So this is a very sensitive matter for somebody whether at the SFPP, and go see them just like drinking a cup of water. Somebody at the APC, they go say, the president is not deserve a second term. But somebody sitting on the fence like me, sitting on the fence, I have my parameters. And if you ask me for rate the president in performance currently, as I sit here in a new direction, I will give him 40%.
Okay, until you try. Why 40%? Waiting at the yardstick we use for give him 40%.
Okay, now the argument is that below 50 is a failed mark, no so? So that is the justification.
But you get waiting and call allowed to promote. Where they can put you on trial.
Well, as far as me concerned, as far as we're concerned, most of the president them, when they go in for second term, it can always end up in a stolen mandate. It can end up in a stolen mandate. They're not going to deserve them. I will give you an example.
Wait. I think the first time they can try pass where they go into the second term. But if caretaker Bio don't get a very challenging first term, where you don't get 40%, how you go talent for the second term?
Well, so that's the number can tell you say most term with leaders in a salon and most part of Africa, the second term can be predicated on stolen mandates. They do it by all means. They know if they go to the polls directly, it will be challenging. For example, I give you an example. An Kroma, in second term, was an outright stolen mandate.
When you talk about stolen mandate, what exactly you mean? Let me understand.
So I say what I mean exactly is that the election was stolen. The election was stolen in favor of the party of the president of the day.
Okay.
Right? The election was stolen. Because we also were happy. I mean, the county was not even finished. It's on a top announced result. It said, we not gladly let go to police. So now, when they see the current party, they know say the only way possible to win the next election is to do it humanly possible. Right? So that is why you see the midterm census, they counter in. If they not even want to let the midterm census go to parliament, they just wanted to bulldoze it. I mean, no. Now only way we shout, we say, man, they go to parliament. And if we don't go to parliament, now federal commodity. Now the local results now, they say the eastern and southern population far above the western and northern population. So that alone will tell you now which side the result they go. And now they don't try for start to do boundary delimitation. They find out say it will be difficult. Still for let the current government get or let the current party get advantage. So now they want to come with another system when the proportional representation thing, right? So it's all strategies. But I don't know if you listen to one video by Ali Kabar, where he say all these voters and these voters registration, all to do is to make sure the APC, the SPP is returned to power without even a second round. I don't know if you listen to that video.
Yes, please. Who said and sit down like a table like?
Ali Kabar, yes, somebody who has nothing to offer to this nation, saying all what they're doing is to ensure that the SPP comes back to power. But for us, it's not about who than a power. It's about the results. If you talk about the new direction, let us see the new direction. What you have in the parliament, we will see 10 APC members of parliament. They pull in the parliament through the court system. The Gaya one, just because the SIP want for the on top of things in the parliament, right? But mind you, according to what we know, I mean, the majority, particularly the majority sits now the parliament, then go be,
majority.
Well, therefore they're on top of parliamentary things.
Yes.
But what's happening under an Escroma in term, when I be a very bad thing happening under an Escroma in term. Usually, the Speaker of Parliament, if I be a retired judge, when I got no political attachment. What happened with President Obama? If it's a partisan person for can be a Speaker of Parliament, just for the on top of things.
And that now when the SFP
come, exactly. Now when the SFP come, what does SF do? They say no, this is good for us. Yes. So now the Speaker of Parliament is SFPP, the Deputy is SFPP, the Clerk of Parliament is SFPP.
The leader of government business now SLPP.
Of course, exactly. So the whole of Parliament is on a hostage right now. It's on a hostage. You see, and then even this last election, what happened at Bumbuna, when at the very important election, the APC be wanted, the SPP wanted desperately, but APC end up forget them anyway. The election at Bumbuna.
But the
dilemma of it is that Say again?
The Bumbuna or Samaya Bendugu?
Yes, Samaya Bendugu, yeah. Samaya Bendugu. You see him? So you see, even the vice president was there for 3 days campaigning.
Yes.
You know, campaigning for 3 days, using state funds, using state resources. I remember it happened under APC, where APC would go out at the field for good campaigns, so that SFP will say, they use state funds, state resources. Now the same thing is happening. So what is the new direction? I want to see this new direction.
It means wait till they get it on a copycat.
No, it's the same direction. We are in the same direction. As far as I know, we are in the same direction. And it's a shame. It's a shame that we should be in the same direction where we were promised a new direction. It's a shame.
All right, so let's move you a bit. We don't come to the end of the program. I don't want to keep the program very long, but I need to ask you some few questions. ECSL, they say 349.5 million new loans for 2023 elections. Now they provide for them for election. You think this enough or plenty?
Yes. So election is money. So I will not question the figure because I know it is based on
different processes.
The prepared budget. We cover everything relating to the operation. But we see over time, we see people whether they recruit, they gamble for payment afterwards. Even this midterm census, I mean, people were grumbling about payments. People where they get service contract, they were grumbling about payment. So it's not about the money. Because even now, we are saying the European Union, they put about $1 million, other entities, they put millions of dollars. But at the end of the day, what's important, a credible election. And as I can see it, we cannot rely on the ECSL for giving a credible election.
This week we go to the issue of the registration. The registration, up to now, we don't even know most people register.
No, we have gone through the registration. I thought the amount you call is for the election proper.
Is it? What did I try for say? You talk about we're not going to trust this for get a credible election. But the question now is, even the registration, what we just don't conclude, we don't even know almost people register. They not even come out.
So that is it. Me, I not trust ECSL for come up with any credible thing because they are allowing the city government to dictate the pace. Because now they will not start to do boundary delimitation. All of a sudden they stop them. They say no, they're not able to do them in a record time. What about the registration? Why you not announce the figures then say now? I mean, it should be transparent. Are they cooking up the figures? What is happening? So as far as me concerned, I mean, for us to have a credible election in this country for a second time where a president sits in office, it's a very challenging situation for we. So that make us say most time it can end up in a stolen mandate. Yes, we're not good for this country. And anybody who has thief election in this country, posterity go judge them.
Amen. Amen. Jah is the fire. I think we go through that day. Since you talk about this, the second to last question I will ask you, get for do the opposition. And then I will ask you one more question. So 2 questions they ask you, but maybe the first one get for do with this. We don't see, you talk about posterity right now. Yesterday also we talk about, how we for change the system. Because we say, for let them swear minister, swear the caretaker, swear member of parliament, they all don't use, even a court, we don't use Quran, we don't use Bible for swear them, but they have to when they go there, they lie, then they do the worst thing them where they're not supposed to, the way they swear say they're not going to do. So we will look say, okay, we need to go the African way. What about if we say, let we count with Sasa, let we count with we bomb swear, where then go the swear on top am, where then na instant, can I feel the way put on at the mouth, which man can I want the wapam, and not they look to them. You think say this thing a visible way for let we see we country then begin for develop?
Me, na possible I'm not against that thing today. Once I for let the right thing happen. Understand it? But unfortunately, we legal system, for instance, allow already the Quran.
No, but the legal system now we right time, and we look at constitutional review as well. Now we the right time. Now we the right 221.
So then, if one for binary come in, it should be contained in a legal framework. But for now, we don't have anything like that. But the only thing they say is that most of the time, we leaders them, they're not afraid. They're not afraid they don't respect God. They don't respect God. They're not afraid God. Like I tell you, no. If you talk to SLPP, what are they afraid right now? Past any other thing in this world, now for lost the coming election.
So not to God and the
right now. Now I'm going to tell you. So they can do anything ungodly. They can do anything criminal. They can do anything out of the way for win the coming election. Yes.
Okay.
I can see it. And the fact of the matter is that it is a very serious situation, because if you leader, you don't swear for put the interest of the country first above all things, then when you come, you put your agenda above the interest of the country. You put your own political party in interest above the interest of the country. Then it is nothing good. Until our leaders start to keep to the word as sworn by oath, this country will always remain so. We don't see someone where they're going to court. I remember what they say, I don't know one man, they say, where you going to court? They say, let's swear to the Quran or to the Bible. They say, no, in a sasa, it want for swear to. So it is possible, but it has to be embedded in our legal framework.
So now we're going to the opposition. Many people see them say then there's alternative government, for the country. And secondly, we still said that the problem you don't follow the issues then. And now we still said they don't give them 60 days for settle, like for do lower level election, flag bearer election, and then settle on resolve membership issue them. They only get 60 days for do all of that, and they as we talk so today don't be the 16. When you say they don't do 16 days into the 60 days. What you go think, or what you think about this, the issue inside the party? You think say then go able for use this 60 days for settle them, or with a still bigger problem we will cost them for the election?
Yes, well, unfortunately, the APC now they allow this kind of situation to happen, where a third party, a court judgment, now they take preeminence over their own operation, because they're supposed to dictate their own pace. They should go at their own pace. Now they are forced to go. Now it's a bad situation for the APC, because even the 21-man committee where they set up, I am told they are split right in the middle. So the house divided by itself cannot stand. Why would they hear about court cases for the SLPP? Why? Look what happened recently, where they go on national or a delegate conference for go elect national officers. They ended up announcing a flag bearer for the coming election, even though that was not what the delegate convention was. I know you say anybody don't challenge the legitimacy of that. So, but why is it that the APC is in this situation? Why? You see, So, and surprised if they're not able to put the house together for ensuring within this 60 days where they don't give them, they're able to do all what they do. If they don't, then it is their business. But I'm free to say they are supposed to put the house in order and make sure say everything is done within the set time frame. And the 21-man committee headed by Peter Conte gets a great role for play. But now Peter Conte is being looked at as somebody, when an invader, somebody where they plant at the party for just can disrupt processes, and somebody where just come from the blues and can hold the whole party to ransom. So the headway for the APC is up to them. They should sit down and decide their own way forward. Otherwise, it's up to them. I mean, because now the carelessness, now APC carelessness make they lost the last election. I mean, now the carelessness. And I don't know which role an Escoma will play in all of this, but as far as we're concerned, an Escoma has nothing to offer, not only to the APC, but to the country, as the situation is right now. So let's wait and see what happens with the APC. But for me, whatever it is up to them.
Thank you very much for taking time for joining inside the program this morning. We appreciate you. Wonderful time where you actually don't give me. This one, a time we really value, because by now you for the do other things then, but you take your busy time and say, okay, let you join me inside the Congress this morning. We appreciate you, and God bless you for where you join me inside the program. We hope for the CU1 team inside this particular Congress follow the seat. Until the punky, where you don't give it today, we appreciate them. We just feel saying on a very sweet punky. Not all man like punky, so I feel saying that's why you get for being no more say not all man, because you don't talk as today. So some people, when it comes to the young party or the young issue, they normally tell anything when that too.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
thank you very much. I'm always very proud of you, and I'm also very happy for you. I will only encourage you for keep the flame burning and make sure you stand right in the middle, because objectivity in the work what you do is very crucial. Under the APC regime, because guys like us were shouting, they say, oh, this people grant envelope journalists. Now, there's some people that the brand are the same in our APC journalists. So some of us will not care about how the brand we. What's important, we stay right in the middle and say the things them where others cannot say.
That's not the real characteristics of a politician. You know, they tell where something sweet, now they tell them sabi, where not sweet, they not sabi you. When you tell yes. about this other person and gladly for, hey, you don't try. When you reach to them with the truth, they say, hey, you not for do so. So I think saying like that, you don't do your own as well. So please continue for do your best and make sure say you stand up very tall. Thank you very much. God bless you. I appreciate you. Come on at the
Rastafari.
All right.
Yes.
A name na Theophilos Benda. We actually are the national coordinator for one NGO they call Community Media Network. We get 50 radio stations them where they work with all over the country. One for tell you thank you one more time, and God bless you. God bless you for we join me inside the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so we can left now inside the program. We appreciate you all time. We appreciate everything we don't do, likes, share, comments. Please, thank you and welcome to the latest family members that will join me inside the show. Until we meet again, it's another beautiful edition of a program where we call Congress. I want to say thank you to the producer, Wena Elias Abba, and thank you to your assistant, Wena Umar. Until we meet again, thank you all. Thank you. God bless you all.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join we 8 a.m. salon time from Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.